Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, another day, another you, another me. We are moving into game number 1 between Aethereal and Jack90. So this is, I believe, the round 32 for the first qualifier of the Champions League. And we do have in the right-hand corner of the map, Jack playing as Frap, and his opponent is Aethereal playing as Skyomi. So some very, very strong gods here for this situation, for this part of the tournament, for this first game here on Blue Lagoon. The Skyomi, one of the new Japanese gods, has a huge amount of boost, a lot of boosts for the cavalry and things like that. Can get a lot of pressure onto the Freya player. Now Aethereal is sort of known for his booming ways, so you can either say, okay, let's play that way. Let's both go for booming ways. You go boom, I go boom, happy days. Or, if you know that the Skyomi player is going to go for a boom, you can just go straight for some very, very aggressive ideas. Things like early rams, things like Draugr, lots of raiding cavalry. Go for Freya and have the forest fire god power as a nice big way to push through your opponent early on. So a lot of ways to sort of break this, and a lot of ways to actually just play into what you're strong with, which is going to be things like just grabbing 3 town centers and playing a nice defensive game with Freya until you get to that late game. Question is, does Freya actually beat Japan in the late game? That's an interesting question. One of the things that makes Freya quite strong a lot of the time is going to be basically the idea of getting out things like Rock Giants, Huskarl, Throw an Axeman, Goaty. All these wood-based units. Maybe Jarls as well if need be, but all these wood-based units, right? If you're playing as the Japanese, what else have you got? Well, you've got access to things like Oyumi in the late game, or also the Onmyoji. Both those siege weapons can be really, really strong, and they might be enough to sort of level the playing field. Jack here needs to move his ox cart. Unfortunately, it's sitting over here idle. What you kind of want to do is grab all your villagers and be right-clicking on the giraffe or the food, and it will be staying close. But nonetheless, we'll see how things are going to go as Aethereal dropping his temple down. He's getting all of these giraffe killed right underneath this watermill. I like this play. This is kind of old school sort of theory, so to speak. You wanna kill all the animals right next to your watermill or your granary or silo, whatever, your ox cart, such that you have 0 walking time, and it's going to be a nice boost to food income. Just on the fact that there's less villagers bumping into each other, and then also it eliminates the risk of the giraffe going away from your watermill or your food drop deposit site if you're not paying attention. So there's a lot of like good theory to this. The only negative is that the animals are going to be decaying a little bit of food, but they decay pretty slowly, so you don't really lose that much. It's kind of worth it to be like shorting yourself maybe a total of 50 food total by doing this over not doing it. Maybe it's less than 50 food, actually. I don't know. I haven't done the math. Anyways, let's take a look at the relics as the player is going to be advancing to the next stage. We've got that Kopesh of Horus over here, making a big impact on the hero's effectiveness versus myth units. Over here, we've got the Pelt of Argus with a line of sight +6 there. On the top side of the map, there is the Oseberg wagon here. Just going to be boosting up those caravans, making them a bit more efficient. And we got Gungnir, Odin's Spear, boosting up in this matchup the Herdman and the Yadi Spearman. As you do see an immediate new moon there onto the watermill. So this is going to get hand axe. This is going to get plow. This is going to get husbandry. This is going to get survival equipment. It's a lot of technologies to get right off the bat. But now he doesn't have new moon for things like the armory or for the temple or for anything like that. But we are going to be seeing Aethereal says, I'm just going to go for a town center. There's no problems with this. Jack sitting in his main base at the moment, not really scouting, hasn't moved across the map. He could basically just guess what's going to happen here. Like, you can kind of just guess. You know that Aethereal plays this way, but do you want to confirm it first? Normally, I'd say you probably do want to confirm it first. He's going to move up onto this side, look to drop his own town center, I guess, or get some more walls in. He is scouting, making sure that Aethereal isn't doing anything suspicious here. It is a lot of XP for the free Bushido as well. I didn't think about that. Almost up to halfway there going to get medium. I imagine you might get more value out of, if you just want that, out of going for the upgrades in your temple, no? Because they're a little bit more expensive. But the town center now is up. The villagers here will be trying to move forward onto this hunt over here as the Hersa has spotted that more now. And the walls coming up here for Jack. Jack, for some reason, has got watchtowers pre-queued here. He will not be needing this technology at all. He will not be needing this technology at all. I'll also note that these games, we're watching the recorded games at the moment. They have already been played. So if you decide to go and look at the bracket, you will be getting hit with spoilers because these games have already been played. Meanwhile, Hersa just looking for a little bit of damage here, trying to pick anything off. Like actually getting damage onto someone who has already got themselves survival equipment in the early stages of the game. It's going to be really, really tricky. Seeing the town center now coming up for Jack. I'm not surprised here. Freya wants to play boomy, wants to play defensive. And yeah, I'm not surprised at all that that's the case there, as these Ursa coming in, wailing away. The Miko, fantastic defense there from Aethereal. Using this girl here, this hero, to just say, sorry, you don't get anything. I can just turn and shank, I can heal, it's fine. Really, really smart way to just defend against light pressure. You don't have to overdo it on anything. He's going to get himself a stable out and a dojo and start making himself those Naginata riders, those samurai and everything else. But yeah, Aethereal here, he doesn't really even need to build anything. He can just build more Miko out and defend it all. You can just defend it all. That's totally fine. As Jack just going to continue to get the walls up. What relics he's got in his hands now? Does have that Oseberg wagon there as the Asgardian Hill Fort coming down onto the front. I mean, if I'm Jack here, I'm actually thinking to drop the immediate third town center as well, while the Tsukiyomi player is sort of busy massing units and trying to figure things out. If I get this town center out like right now, before anything else starts happening, then all of a sudden I'm technically I'm not going to be behind on villages like you are right now. He's behind by 4 villages, 5, 6 villages. If he just goes and drops that town center immediately, then things would be completely fine for him here. Not that things are bad by any stretch of the imagination, but he could be in a really, really good position. There's still more pressure coming into this, but the Miko can heal up those Naginata riders. No real harm in taking a fight here, as long as he's sitting on the back, healing up those units and pulling back the low HP ones. He misclicks onto that one, unfortunately, as the Onnamusha charges through. And the Draugr ends up going down. Jack gets chased back. Artifaction. If you want to know the schedule for the tournament and exactly how it's working, it's all written in the handbook, which is available on my Discord. There's a whole schedule there. It's in the information Champions League 4 information channel. But the finals are going to be several weeks away. We got a group stage to get through, then we got the playoffs to get through. So the tournament goes on for around 6 weeks. 6 or 7 weeks. 7 weeks from now, actually. Alrighty. So far so good from Aethereal. He's defended everything. He's got his slight advantage on villages. He hasn't lost anything. He might want to consider wandering over and getting his own third town center. He might be trying to rush towards the heroic age pretty quickly, putting some pressure on, making sure that no town center is being grabbed. I do think that Jack is making a pretty big mistake here by not grabbing that next town center. There's no real negative here for him to grab it, because he wants to play defensive anyways. He doesn't want to be the one like putting pressure on or attacking really as as you're playing against Japanese. You want to just sit back and let the Japanese come to you, play defensive. But he's put a little bit of pressure on, lost a couple of units, picked off a little bit. And Aethereal now riding in onto this side as the Herdmen are here to say, please get out of here. Okay, apparently the temple is slightly less XP. Okay. I was close though, 720 versus 770. I value the temple upgrades way more than those watermill upgrades though. They're so much better. So much better. Alright, nonetheless, Aegir is coming through now for Jack as Aethereal is looking for some big pressure here. He's got those samurai in, he's got those Naginata riders in, and Jack will need to run. He's got nothing here to actually really fight this stuff. As one throw on Axeman goes down, does manage to snipe a couple of units, trying to stay away from those samurai, but it is a lot of damage coming through onto them for those Herdmen. These guys, they might have a hefty amount of hack armor at 35%, but only 99 HP. They're going to take a lot of damage from the samurai, and Aethereal there. Basically now, after pushing Jack back, he's going to be able to claim map control. He's going to be able to basically get whatever he wants here to happen. A couple of thrown axemen coming through. There's a samurai sniping down units slowly here. The thrown axemen shooting, scooting away as the heroic age comes through for Aegir there for Jack, and he will be dropping his god power. And Aethereal says, "No worries. That's a nice god power you have there. I will give you a couple of units to kill. That's fine, and then I'll retreat." But he drops down his Swampland and says, all right, jeepers, I'm losing a whole bunch of frames here. He says, all right, we'll drop the swamp. That's just so many frames. I don't want to look at it anymore. Jesus. Okay. The Thrown Axeman losing a couple of units there. A nice defense. I like that idea from Jack using Swampland as a bit of a retreat idea so that you don't want to really chase the units away. So you can kind of almost trade a classical age god power for a heroic age god power inside of this Swampland tech. As Hachiman now pre-queued for Aethereal. He's got his farm set up. I'm surprised. Well, he is moving forward. He's going to grab some gold in the middle. He's going to be trying to grab his gazelle as well. But there are farms all over the place. He does also already have plow, remember, from using that new moon. So not a terrible decision there to jump straight onto farms. But Hachiman going to be in, which does mean the Shogun's going to be through, which will be an answer for these rock giants, which is sort of what I was alluding to earlier on. Like this Tsukiyomi god has got all of the answers to what Freya is going to be throwing at it. Like, Rock Giant dies to Onimusha. Bushi is probably not the best hero to be making, but the Onimusha can absolutely dominate the Rock Giant. 60% hack armor, and then the burst that comes through, they're really slow, etc., etc. And then you've also got the Shogun, who's going to get max value out of smacking down a Rock Giant. If you take down one Rock Giant with the Shogun, you're going to get yourself 8 Samurai, which is absolutely ridiculous. Following on from that, what else have you got? Like, you got the samurai to take down the Herdmen, take down the Huskarl. You've got like horse archers and things like that to take out those throw an axemen, as well as being nice against sort of berserks, Hersa, and all that other good stuff. So it's a challenge here, and I think Jack's going to have to move away from this infantry army pretty quickly here. He's going to need to get himself some Jarls or something like that to actually break through this stuff, force out some Yati Spearmen, and make things a little bit interesting. But if you don't go into the Jarls, then you're going to have some trouble here. As Aethereal looking for a little bit of a cheeky raid, but Jack is in position to defend. The only problem is he's not able to push out and grab his third town center now. He was too delayed on that. And Aethereal here can literally just sit on his 190 population, get more technologies, get up to his heavy upgrades here. He's researching them all. Now he's up to heavy on everything. So he's in a really, really good spot. Heavy is coming through on the other side, though, for Jack. It's a ways away. But Aethereal can grab a third town center. He's at 73 villages. Both players equal on villages at the moment. Now going to be seeing this special technology, the golden kite, to come through. Going to be making those Yumiya horse archers a little bit stronger. There's also this Tengu in the army as well, which is an incredibly strong myth unit. Jack's Asgardian Hill Fort standing strong for the time being, but Shogun getting converted in there nice and early, as it looks like Aethereal trying to take this fight underneath the Asgardian Hill Fort. Thinks he can win this one as the Ghoul and Bursty coming through. A couple of buildings getting deleted to try and help that one in, as the wall almost locks that army off there, but Aethereal paying attention, gets out, no problem, stays alive. The Ghoul and Bursty is now gone. God powers are finished, unless you want to pay for them again. And the game continues along. Meanwhile, over onto this side, castle coming up for Aethereal. As you might want to consider some siege, dropping a dock over here. Umibozu are an option here on this map. You can teleport from this side over to this side, or up to here as well. So you can get some nice little cheeky plays in. As the Mythic Age is now queued up here for Jack. He's going through Vidar. He wants to get those strong units, get all the upgrades he possibly can. And he's trying his hardest here to just take this game as late as he possibly can. Town Center coming up for Aethereal on this side now. Shinobi joining into the fight onto the back here. The Rock Giant. You almost want to just, you just want to let the Shogun just take it down. Like, just don't even worry about anything. Look at the Samurai coming through here. As this guy's up to 600 HP already. I mean, he's taking the fight on this side. They're throwing action and getting some good value here, but that Shogun is just, he's just going to get so much. He's up to 800 HP. 900 damage. I'm just sitting here just going, this guy is just getting so much value. 1,000. That's 10 samurai. 12 samurai. Are you kidding me? And Aethereal says, all right, better pull back. But that is absolutely a ridiculous amount of free resource coming through. And they're finally getting targeted down after 14 samurai are born. And Jack here trying to micro back, keeping himself going. He does have a big god power coming for himself. The samurai, not the best here at charging in onto this spot, but those horse archers are incredibly good at taking down the thrown axemen. There's probably enough resources for Aethereal to go to the next age as well, but he doesn't feel like it's important. He can just sell a whole bunch of food or anything like that as the Vidar Inferno comes in. Doesn't really get, oh, it does get a huge amount of damage. That population just dropped insanely there. That was crazy. I didn't even think it did that much damage, but it just erased everything. The villagers as well have to pull back, and now Aethereal is in a really, really tough spot. They're throwing axemen here, trying to push forward into horse archers and things like that. Not quite going to be able to make that work all too well. Wait, he's out of gold? Jack's got no gold left. Where's he supposed to go? Up to this side? Over to here, maybe? He can open this gate. He's got a gold mine on this side. There's no problems there. He's got a gold mine. Does not have to worry just yet. One ballista out. Castle going down. We are seeing technology coming in. 8 banners. Going to be making those heroes a little bit easier to build. All the resources in the world for Aethereal here to rebuild his army back out. He's going to sit back and wait for it until it comes online. There's the dojo for Aethereal. Not quite falling. 12 HP. On fire. Everything's on fire right now. And we are going to be seeing this tech coming through. Tenshu. Making those buildings that little bit stronger as the Fafnir, well, it does a little bit of damage. It takes a while. What's the actual crush damage on it? 16 crush damage per second. It takes a while to take a castle down, but he's not bad at it. He doesn't take any damage from the castle. Has a couple of villagers popping out over here, and Aethereal is ready to take another fight. He gets the champion upgrades in mid-fight from his Bushido. As the front line melts, the Fafnir are going to be going down, giving 300 gold over, and a second Tempest gets dropped down here, but this time Aethereal says, I don't care about your Tempest. I'm sitting here. I got the stronger units. I've got the Yuumi Horse Archer. Even if they're getting slowed down by this Tempest, it's not going to matter. More Samurai coming in to take out those Berserks and everything else, but there's a lot of units streaming in here. But Jack's population is at 150. Aethereal's is at 180. Aethereal looks like he's going to be winning this fight in the middle. Meanwhile, on the bottom side of the map, we are seeing Jack saying, I got to take this position, has to take the stable. He needs this town center up here as soon as possible. As the Naginata Riders charging after the Ballista and all the good stuff there. Horse Archers doing what they can over here as well. He's just going to pull back ever so slightly. Realize I have the wrong thing on my thing. We go back to qualifier 1, day 1. Couple of longhouses falling in the center of the map as Jack is going to pull back, regroup, turtle up, and try and pull himself back in this game. Meanwhile, Mythic Age, pre-queued for Aethereal. He says, Okuni Nushi is the god he wants. I think he's 100% right. Okuni Nushi in this position is so good. Watatsumi is his other option, right? Help him kill off an army, make his horse archers a little bit stronger. I don't think you need that. What you need is you need this mechanical artisans technology. You also need an extra Shogun, potentially. Another Swampland is always nice, but then finally you get the New Moon tech, and that gives you full iron in your temple immediately. Meanwhile, the Jack gate getting torn down over here. Aethereal pulls back ever so slightly. Going to come over here and maybe snipe down a Ballista or something like that. Town Center coming up here onto this side. That's the Jack units on the back just hanging out, waiting, watching. But this Town Center is simply going to be Aethereal. He's going to be 4 to 2 TCs. He's at champion upgrades. He's behind on the armor at the moment. This does get denied for a hot second. Maybe a castle wouldn't be a bad idea on the other side here for Aethereal. It's got a lot of units queued up, ready to pop out as soon as a fight starts. But Okuni Nushi is now going to start coming through. And Aethereal just hovering over this town center. He knows how important this position is because it means more population for him, less for his opponent, and a good position to be in. He's still spamming Shinobi into this fight. They're not really the best option against Norse. Unless the Norse player's got a whole bunch of Godi out, it's not really the best option. There's the Samurai charging forward. They are getting sniped down pretty quickly by those throwing axemen with those horse archers. Man, with good shoot and scoot, it's totally fine. He's going to be pulling back here, and it looks like Jack manages to hold for the time being. There's a castle coming up onto this position over here. But sooner or later, this Mythic Age is going to be in. It's going to be now. It's almost Iron Armor for Jack. So Jack's not going to really be that far behind. But there will be these units just getting even stronger. You get to that Mythic Age, you get yourself full Iron. Sooner or later, this Bushido Tier 4 will come online as well. I mean, it's a long ways away. It's a lot of XP to get to Tier 4. As Okuni Nushi comes through. And that's going to be the Shrine. That's going to be the Swamp. And that's also going to be the Armory getting new moons there. No surprises. Manages to take this position. He's now got some incredibly powerful units here. He's got 50 favor in the bank. You know me. I'm going to start saying right now, what do you need? Ombaraki. Start mixing those guys in, because guess what? Jack here is not going to be wanting to build a single hero. He doesn't want to build Hersa. You've got Samurai. He doesn't want to build Godi. You've got Yumi Horse Archer. You've got Naginata Rider. You don't want to do anything to deal with those Ombaraki. So they're just going to be massively... They're just going to be so much value. We see Sakura Gardens also coming in to make the 4 shrines that Aethereal has got be a little bit more efficient. And we also see the Umi Bozu wandering in. This guy, for those who don't know, he's pretty cheap. He's well worth building. He does 220. It's 225 wood, 15 favor. Super cheap, actually. Might even be a better sharp than those Ombaraki here. Does a huge amount of damage. Does a whole bunch of like damage, area of effect damage as well. 26 on the hack damage, 13 on the crush. And then also does some divine damage if it's actually attacking anything in the water there. But nonetheless, the game to continue along. And yes, Jack is actually out of gold. He's making a trade route. How many does he have? He's got only 8 caravans here. So Jack can't really take a fight for the next probably couple minutes at the very least until his trade route comes online. And Aethereal is just going to be pressuring here. He charges forward with this Umi Bozu. He's getting so much damage with that whack. I think this guy is so insanely strong. The Wretch is coming through as well. And we are actually going to see that the decision for Aethereal is to actually go into these Onmyoji. So he's not going for what I think is going to be his best move, which is probably the Oyumi at this moment with Mechanical Artisans. But he is going for Onmyoji, which are really, really good gear at taking down buildings and everything else. And it just looks like Aethereal is so far in front right now as he's going to be charging forward here. The Horse Archers to take out the Throwing Axe on the back. These Onmyoji going to be slowly starting to take down the hill forts. They do so much damage. They are a little bit glass cannony because they've only got 57% pierce. I'm 174 HP. But they are really, really good at taking down those buildings. And in that moment there, Jack does tap out as Aethereal pushes to the win in very nice fashion. Defends all of the shenanigans that Jack's doing. Jack makes, I would say, the biggest mistake here that Jack made was not identifying that this town center was a free-to-grab town center. If your opponent goes 2 TC against you as Norse, oftentimes it's really, really hard to punish a third town center. So the Norse player grabs both of their town centers straight away, and then you're going to be a 3 town center versus 3 town center affair, but the Norse player will have their 3rd town center up before the Tsukiyomi player, or before the non-Norse player will have their 3rd town center up. And I think in those sort of situations, the Norse player generally is slightly in front, and you can have a little bit of a better time there. But I mean, beyond all that, he did get a nice little position here in this fight, but maybe the other big thing here was a lack of Jarls. Jarls mostly needed for Jack here, but he didn't build a single one. I don't even think he got the upgrades on his cavalry, so no real option to get into those Jarls there. But he tried to make the infantry work. Not quite there. And Aethereal gets the win. Let's move into game number 2 and see how it goes. Alrighty, we have now got game number 2 coming in. Let me open up the next thing. But that's what's next. So for now, oh, these guys are in the wrong spot. Let me flip them around. So Jack is on the left. So the next gods that these guys have got for this this next I can't speak, for the next part of this series are going to be, well, first and foremost, the map is going to be on Steppe, it looks like, and it's going to be a Uranus versus Poseidon affair. So that's going to be sort of the idea there. So what can you think about here? So a lot of players from the Poseidon side of things struggle in this specific matchup, but there are a couple of ways that you can play this as Poseidon that can really flip the script. For example, instead of going for Hermes, which is the god which you like to go because it plays into your unique major gods bonuses, so you get a little bit of synergy there. Instead of going that way, actually going in for the Ares in this matchup, and specifically going Ares for things like Hypaspis, Hippias, Hypaspis Toxotes, Hypaspis plus some cavalry, a defensive Hypaspis Toxotes sort of play with maybe even mixing in Hippias as well, where you go for a second town center and things like that. There's a lot of different ways to play this game. But I'm interested in seeing how Aethereal is going to take it. Jack is one of the best Uranus players currently playing, so it's going to be fun to watch him in his element. So let's jump into this game and see how it goes. Alrighty, so on the top of the map, it's going to be Aethereal as Poseidon, and in the bottom of the map, it is going to be Jack playing as Uranus. Over here onto the left side, we do have ourselves Gambantine, Odin's Wand, making those temple and stuff a little bit easier cheaper or whatever. Up onto this side as well, there is the Hermes' Winged Sandals, making the hero movement speed plus 5%. Up on this side, there is the Little Crow Circle, armory upgrade, weapon upgrades, food and gold cost down by 50%. And over on this side, we have Hori's Hunting Bow, making the hunt a little bit faster to grab. So Steppe, one of the big advantages here for Jack on Steppe is that you don't have to worry about the center all too much. Now, generally, the biggest sort of drawback about Uranus is, well, I say a drawback. It's not a drawback. The hardest thing to sort of juggle is, where do I put my sky passages? Now, if I'm going to be playing an aggressive game against someone like Aethereal, which is probably going to be the right way to play here for Jack, you're going to have to start thinking about setting up your sky passages on places like this, on places like over on this position here. And then all of a sudden, if there was something in the center, you would also need to set a sky passage up over there, which means you can't put the sky passage in your main base to help move your villagers quickly forward to also be taking their resources without any sort of walking time. But yeah, on this map Steppe, you can actually get away with that. So you can put the sky passages on the side and one at home, and you're not really losing out on anything there. You don't have to like sacrifice to take more map control. Meanwhile, over onto this side, Jack's Oracle getting harassed down. Now, if we take a quick look at the actual town center situation, I don't think I'd be surprised to see Aethereal grabbing this town center, but it's really, really bad. He does hold onto his lure, which I love. If he drops that lure there onto his town center, he's going to get chickens there, so he can actually start eating food straight away, and then the lure will bring some more animals over there for him to start feasting on, so he doesn't have to sort of worry about food as Poseidon. That can be a nice way to play. But yeah, he really shouldn't be going for that town center. I think this is going to be, while this town center on the side here is really good, if you can grab this one and do the same thing, it makes his life a lot easier to grab this back gold mine. I don't think he should be going for a town center, and he is actually going for Hermes here. Meanwhile, no surprises on this side here for Jack. He's going for Oceanus. As there he goes, makes a little bit of a mistake there on his ordering, but for the moment, I think a little bit of a late advance from Jack. Did he get his upgrades? No, he's just gone for a late one. He pulled some relics back into his main base, Actually leaves the Hermes' winged sandals there. Not in the town, in the temple for some reason. Sort of confused on that one, just on the fact that it would help him send his oracle quicker to grab relics, but I think he's just trying to hide it from Aethereal for whatever reason, to maybe fake it out so that Aethereal sends his Theseus somewhere where it shouldn't be. But it's just going to be a little crow circle getting picked up, which is those armor upgrades getting just that little bit cheaper. Not a little bit cheaper, a lot cheaper. Food and wood and gold costs going down by 50%. Meanwhile, lure. Where did he drop the lure? He put the lure on the chickens? Really? I put my lure always right next to this town center, just on the back here. That way my villagers are going to be able to eat food straight away. He's going to have to put them onto wood, and that's going to slow down a whole bunch of things here, as it's a military barracks, double military barracks from Jack. No surprises. He's going to be going for that early aggression with his Murmillos and looking for any amount of damage here. I'm surprised actually that he didn't go for what's it called? A catapulti or something like that. On the other side here, he does see the town center, so he knows that there's not going to be any hippies coming straight away. And we do actually see a pretty aggressive sky passage coming in already from Jack. He wants to be on this spot. He doesn't want to be allowing the gold, the food to get grabbed here. If he can come forward and just deny all of this, have eyes on it, then this town center is literally just a couple of wood lines, and that's it. There's no resources around. There's nothing good here. Meanwhile, into the main base, yes, there's going to be a lure here, which is great for Aethereal. He's going to have some more food, but guess what? It's exposed. This food is exposed. This food is exposed. As the Caladria dodging away the arrows from the Centaur and the Theseus. One way to take out the Caladria is to just use the Centaur special attack on cooldown against that Caladria. You can't dodge that special attack. Meanwhile, Carnivora actually getting dropped down onto this spot as the Centaur joining in onto this fight, and Aethereal dropping another archery range, just trying to get a couple of archers in to deal with all this stuff. Doesn't really have another decent unit to build. You do want to be building Hypaspist here, but it's not really an option. And as at the very least, the archery range is going to go down as the Caladria is slowly healing things up. And he does manage to snipe it there with the Theseus. Huge, as a couple militia trying to retreat. He manages to keep 2 alive, losing 1 to the Carnivora. That's not bad there. Obviously, losing the archery range isn't good, but it's kind of cheap when you consider how many militia he actually just got from that. Meanwhile, a market coming onto the back here. The gold in the main base for Aethereal is going to be very difficult to be grabbing moving forward. As the Murmillo, not the Murmillo, the militia gets sniped there by the Carnivore. Losing 2 to that was not ideal. Not ideal at all. As over onto this side, Sentry Tower is getting knocked down on both spots there, as we've also got the Atalanta coming through. Archery range. Nothing but Toxotes here, it seems, for Aethereal. He goes, look, if you're just going to mass Murmillos, if I go mass archers, then I'm not too worried about getting chaosed. It's a nice way to think about it. The shockwave comes in, and Jack says any little bits of damage here is going to be so huge. Still dodging up onto those heroes as the hero Murmillo charges in, going to take out the Centaur almost. Nope. Toxotes getting a little bit of kills onto the back here as Aethereal going to be pulling back up. We just see another sky passage coming down onto the right side, as now Jack has got a hefty amount of damage done. Hasn't lost a whole lot of stuff. His Caladria is going to be able to heal everyone else back up. And the problem here for Aethereal is his gold mine is now looking a little bit difficult. A couple of stables going to come through for Aethereal now. He wants to go Hippiaski, which is very gold intensive. Very gold intensive. And now Jack coming back in. Quick reactions from Aethereal to pull back. Not going to lose anything. Does obviously see those Turmer and says, I got to try and deal with those. As the heroes coming forward. They manage to kill off the Caladria. No, they shoot one arrow, retreat back. Jack's controlling this very, very nicely at the moment. Still getting more little bits of damage in as he pokes in, pokes out. Orange this side, Aethereal trying to get some goats back into his main base, but they get spotted there from Jack, and now Jack's got those. He can actually put them into the sky passage to get them back home really quickly if he wants to. So Terma just getting a little bits of damage done. A couple more units starting to accrue up here for Aethereal, but he's running out of time to sort of sort this pressure out. It's equal on military though, so he does. I think he might be okay here actually. Equal on military. He's gonna have to get to a gold mine. He has to win a fight, which is gonna be the challenge. So what you probably want to try and do is trade the next Shockwave Carnivora for Ceasefire, right? So Ceasefire, the next Shockwave Carnivora, and just mine the gold, get as many units as you can out, have the heroes ready to take out the Carnivora or walk away from it, maybe move over onto this side during the Ceasefire. So we do see a nice little raid coming over onto this spot as Aethereal garrisons. I wouldn't mind seeing a little cheeky wall coming over here because these are nicely placed houses. Without that wall to lock this off, then I mean you're missing out on quite a lot there, or you're making your base very, very open and ready to get taken out as the Oracle gets sniped onto this spot. Aethereal gonna pull back in under his town center as the villagers are gonna pull away over onto the right hand corner. The army for Aethereal starting to accrue up onto the top side, and Jack will probably smartly move through his sky passage back into this spot and then start looking to hammer down onto this poorly placed lure. And he does exactly that. Aethereal does notice it, but he is just that little bit too slow. Loses 3 villagers on that one. Still at the end of the day, he's still starting to get himself a really, really big army. And the question here is really, does Murmillo, a handful of Catapulties, and Terma hold Aethereal off a gold mine? Because this is really whenever you're playing one town center versus 2 town center, the big question is you've got to win a fight, and you've got to ceasefire there. No, he's taking the fight from that shockwave. Carnivora are going to come down, still no ceasefire, and all of a sudden Jack just gets a huge amount of value on that one, and the gold mine is gone. Aethereal just lost 2k resources to that Shockwave Carnivora combo. He could have ceasefired it. He needed to. That was a perfect situation for Aethereal. For that Shockwave to come in right then and there, ceasefire, walk in, grab the gold, take the fight with no Shockwave up, and live the dream with a gold mine to continue spamming more units out. But all of a sudden, Jack has got full control of this game. He's got the Oracle over here. Does he have an Oracle checking out this position? No. That's a mistake. He needs to be seeing this one. Aethereal might be able to sneak a gold mine. On the other side of the map, he does have his Oracle here checking this out. There's no real ways to sneak through here, though, as the Hippias are going to be searching for any little amounts of raids, but there's a Sky Passage in the main base to defend against that sort of stuff. There's a couple of Toxotes getting sniped down over onto this side. And I guess behind all of this, Jack's got 2 choices to make. Either A, he goes to the heroic age, and he gets chaos, which means he can kind of hold another fight, win another fight pretty easily. Or B, he just converts everyone into heroes and stays in the classical age, and there's almost no way for this Toxotes army from Aethereal to get out of his base. He's going to be sniping a whole bunch of villages over this side, keeping economic situation close as well, as the Murmillos diving in. The Terma getting some big damage there onto those Toxotes, as the Toxotes micro here, very nice from Aethereal, does actually manage to hold on this spot, but he is losing some villages over onto this location here, as Jack does let a little bit of this attack go south. It's a very close differential right now, but the shockwave comes off cooldown, and Aethereal says, all right, time to click ceasefire. He hasn't sent any villagers over yet. There's literally a farm here. Jack is this confident he is going to be holding this position. He is this confident he's going to be holding this position. He puts a farm down because he says, I got too much gold income and I need some more food. I mean, he could have just pulled the villager off through the sky passage, come over to here, jumped onto a goat and been fine. But no, he says farm. He says farm, because why not? Some villagers now making their way over onto this side. Jack's army will pop out of that sky passage, but can he win this fight? Another Carnivora gets dropped down. The villagers here do not have survival equipment, but he needs them for this fight. As the Carnivora getting sniped down, the Hippias trying to get around these catapulties, but he's not able to do so. The Toxotes having a bit of a difficult time here dealing with these Terma, as Aethereal just trying to get through. He's not quite able to. There's the heroic age. There's the chaos. There's the dead Toxotes, and there is the dead Aethereal, as the series has been leveled 1-1. I mean, what more can be said? This was just perfect execution from Jack. There was an opportunity here for Aethereal. I think he had the opportunity here to get out of this position and into the next part of this game. What I think he needed to do is twofold. That first shockwave, or the second shockwave that happened here, that needed to be ceasefired. Don't want to lose the units. Then grab yourself survival equipment, wander forward, drop the gold mine, and we're going to start bringing more villagers in to fight and to hold this position. Break out. Yes, you'll lose some villagers. No problem. You've still got the 2 TC advantage, so losing 10 villagers is not that big of a problem so long as you win the fight. Kill off the sky passage, hold this position, and then move to the next part of the game. That was the way through here for Aethereal, but holding that ceasefire for the last sort of shockwave Carnivora, I mean, I get it. It's the most expensive one. Feels like you're getting the most value out of it, but in this sort of a situation, you're going to have to deal with that one later. And so long as you can push through and be on the gold mine without being slowed down beforehand, you got enough time there with the 3 minutes of cooldown on that third Carnivora. Shockwave obviously going to come off cooldown a little bit earlier, but still, you've got that time. Nonetheless, series is leveled as Jack is now on the scoreboard. Let's get back to the draft. Alrighty, so game 1 went Aethereal's side with the Tsukiyomi. With the Tsukiyomi. Game 2 goes Jack's side with the Uranus. Game 3. What's going to happen here? What have we got? We've got a Zeus versus Odin on Tundra. A Zeus versus Odin on Tundra. So a good map for Odin. Double hunt in the main base, and all the good stuff that comes from that. Zeus, though, especially Aethereal Zeus, is no slouch in this matchup. I've seen him beating Norse players over and over and over again. But can he make it happen again against a really high-level player in Jack? That's going to be the big question. Let's jump into game number 2 and find out. And here we go. In the right-hand corner of the map, we have Jack90 playing his Odin. In the left-hand corner of the map, we've got ourselves Aethereal playing his Zeus. So, it's Tundra. 2TC in this map? I mean, this is Aethereal's playstyle. He loves going 2TC. He just wants to go 2TC and try and hold on. Very, very dangerous versus Odin. I can't stress that enough. This is a dangerous strategy to do versus Odin on this map. You probably can't even get the town center up without taking a significant amount of damage. You do have Bolt for the Valkyrie. That's nice. But then you also have to deal with the Hersir coming through, raiding cavalry coming through, and all the other good stuff. If you happen to have an amazing second town center, of which this isn't terrible, drag those Aurochs in, eat them around about here. It's not bad. He's also got a gold mine that's relatively close to this town center, and he can make a move forward and try and grab that one. It might work, as long as he doesn't lose too many villages to raids. It might work. Let's check the relics out and see what's going to happen. We've got the Demeter's Throne over here, making those houses and storage houses a little bit, drop sites a little bit more cheap. Up on this side, we've got the Scarab Pendant, just making the siege crush damage got by 20% for all those siege units. Over onto this side, there is the Heavenly Jeweled Spear. I don't know if I've seen this relic before. Max range of melee attack. I haven't seen this relic. This is a first. This relic's massive for those Prodromus Spearmen. It's on the Spearmen as well. Herdman Catapulties. Yeah, this relic is like, for Egyptian players, this, especially Isis and Set, this relic is amazing. Plus 0.25 max range on melee attack. It's going to help out a ton. I don't think it's going to have that much impact in this specific game with the Herdman and the... Is it hit at Hoplite or Prodromus? It's the Prodromus. Yeah, I don't think it's going to have that much impact in this game. But anyways, and we have Tusk of the Iron Boar. Huge relic there for the Odin, but it is on Aethereal's side. Well, Jack says, I've had enough of your 2TC ways. I don't want to sit back here and I don't want to wait. I don't want to be a part of it. I'm going to hide my temple. I sort of wish he hit it back here, to be honest, like even more far out of the way, because the villagers could come through this way onto the town center. If he puts it back here out of the way, leaves the Raven on the settlement, he's going to be here. He's going for Heimdall. No way does this work. Or is Aethereal just going to be tapping out in 5 minutes from getting dumpstered off of a town center? I'm Dirty Dan Boy asks, are the Champions League games played on the remastered with Voobly rules? There's not Voobly rules. It's adapted for the kind of modern day sort of RTS, Age of Empires kind of draft system and things like that, but it still has a lot of the Champions League Voobly flavor. What is he doing? Is he in range? This is so dangerous. He's literally just like showing Aethereal. He's like 1 inch away from this as the villagers are getting the town. He's just letting it go up. He doesn't know what's going up. The whole plan here is to attack the... Okay, now he's coming. Okay, he's coming. He's got the Einherjar. He's got the Hersir. There's going to be a restoration here. And Aethereal spots him now. He's going to continue trying to get this up. He bolts the Hersir down there as the Einherjar going to be going down. The villagers pulled off. There's restoration available. The town center getting up is everything. Undermine has a negative multiplier versus settlements, so this does not do that much damage. And the Einherjar coming back in, but immediately the Jason is coming back through, and Aethereal says, thank you very much. I will take this town center to the bank. It's 9 seconds from completion. The Minotaur almost going down. More villagers coming over here. Is there going to even be one villager kill? It looks like there's one down as the town center is now off. The rush is not over, though. He's moving over onto this wood line. Imagine forest fire here, actually. This would have been completely different. The villagers can pull over here and try and drag those Aurochs in. Meanwhile, into the main base, however, Jack looking to hit off this home gold mine. There isn't a single amount of gold in the bank right now for Aethereal. He has got idle town centers. He's got idle villages. He's trying to grab this. He's got 300 wood in the bank as he does manage to bring the Auroch underneath the town center, putting the granary down. But this is really, really bad for Aethereal. He's going to move forward onto this gold mine. I like that decision. He's got Aurochs in his main base. He can drag underneath the town center as well. His villagers here are safe with the help of a Minotaur. And where to for now? Dragging Aurochs underneath. Like, Jack needs to kill these Aurochs off. He can't be allowing these to get dragged underneath the town center. And now he does notice that. The Minotaur comes through. There is a Hersa there to defend this. A good decision there from Jack. Picks off one of those as the Minotaur gets the big headbutt off. But will lose its life to the Hersa unless he's not careful. Does pull back 40 HP. Gonna lose the now he's gonna lose the Hersa if he's not careful. Minotaur will go down. Hersa will bail. Looks like it's going to be okay there as both the Aurochs are now dead. Villagers on this side getting raided by Berserks. We do see some archers. It's double archery range up for Aethereal now. He probably needs some, what do you call it? Some hoplites here very, very quickly. Meanwhile, the Berserks, however, they don't have themselves the Hamask upgrade. But these villagers up here, grabbing this gold mine, it's dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. We will be seeing some walls coming up as Jack is going to try and lock Aethereal off of gold. 2 Toxotes in a dream here. As the Jason does push the Berserks away from this side. These units here, they do spot the storehouse. He's coming around to hit some villagers off this wood line again, maybe. Nope, he's just going to go straight up. Take the villagers off of this position. But then, Aethereal can go back over onto this gold mine. I wouldn't mind seeing him grab watchtowers and put another watchtower down. That being said, there is the whatchamajigget. There is the undermine to be a little bit concerned about as the villagers. Will they get back home? Answer. They decide to go the wrong. Well, they get sent into that spot there. Go idle. Almost going to be losing. Loses one villager. Pulls off the temple here. As the villagers are pushed off of this wood line yet again. Now, one idea here for Aethereal is to gamble and try and get onto those Aurochs over there. There's no Ravens checking that out or anything. There is still a little bit of Aurochs over here. There's a couple more houses to come down. Can Aethereal figure out how to hold here against this crazy back build from Jack? Jack's walling him off from the front. Walls over here wouldn't go astray. He's got these ones up. Walls over here wouldn't go astray. Look, he's got his house over here. He's got a house over here. He's got eyes on everything. Couple more Toxotes coming through, but still not a single military academy. Now it's coming in. Tower on the front, gonna get knocked down. So Toxotes coming in, getting a little bit of damage off onto the throw an axeman. You also have to remember that a couple more Ironry would go really nicely here for Jack as well. That being said, you don't want to be throwing it away. It's super valuable. Not quite able to pick it off, but it's nearly dead there. As the village is pulling off of the woodline. There's no resources on this town center. It's just an absolute hot mess of a town center considering he didn't get the Aurochs there. Undermine gets dropped down, going to be able to deny. We didn't click it through the military academy. Villagers getting pulled into the town center as Aethereal here still doesn't have himself this technology survival equipment. It might not be a terrible idea to help him out with holding on here as the villagers will pop out. The Ironry coming in. 7 HP in a dream with that bad boy, but the villagers here ready to take these fights onto the gold mine. There's a lot of gold in the bank. He could go for a couple of Minotaur here as well, as the villagers continuing to shank through here. The differential on villager count is 34 to 30, so it's still close. As the villagers pulling off of the gold mine, coming back over onto Favor. Maybe trying to save up for another restoration at this point. Villagers are back over onto this wood line again. Maybe some farms down over here. Maybe trying to walk in and just eat the Aurochs on this side. Out of sight, out of mind. As the villagers are pushed off of the gold. Yet again, Jack seems to be pulling away here in this game. As they throw an axeman. Sniping villagers. Another villager down. Another villager down. Not paying attention. Fully focused on top of his Toxotes series. The villagers are getting pulled off of the line yet again. Military differential, however, has actually flipped into Aethereal's advantage here. So, while he's now behind on villager count, he still is 2 TC, and he's got the military advantage. So, Jack needs to make something happen with this villager advantage. I don't think it's going to be enough to give him any sort of advantage moving forward. That being said, the food income for Aethereal is looking pretty dire here. He does get damage done. Potentially just retreating out of this position, dropping a town center down, and going from there is potentially the right call here for Jack. Continuing to raid, no worries. Continuing to get some pressure on over here, no worries. But a town center would not go astray for Jack here. Farms coming down onto the back. Aethereal probably doesn't want to build Minotaur because he doesn't have that much gold remaining. And he does have that restoration there to help him out, which is effectively just... I mean, Favor is a resource that just is infinite to be gathered, right? So the fact of the matter is he can't really leave his base just yet to get more resources. So this is just extra stuff in his back pocket for when a fight happens. Meanwhile, still no military, still no hoplites, as these Toxotes are going to sit here and try and take down the Longhouse. And we are actually seeing the town center coming through here for Jack. I think this is correct. He has to say, okay, I did not manage to win here. This game will continue along. So this means we have to play an equal game moving ahead, except once this town center is up, it looks like it's going to be a 2-3 villager advantage. There's Rigstooler there as well. The military advantage for Aethereal is pretty small here in the grand scheme of things. Like 1,000-ish resources isn't that big of a deal. With a differential of 3 villages, you will be able to cut that down over a couple of minutes to nothing. Plus, you've also got the food income. You've also got, you don't have to build farms. So there's all of that stuff that is playing. As I say that, there's literally 2 farms built here for Jack, which makes me scratch my head and say, what are you doing, good sir? You are the one being aggressive. Do not build farms. Take food. Take the map. Enjoy the hunt. It's really, really good for you. Nonetheless, the buildings are going to come back up onto this position. And we still haven't gotten a hoplite out. Raiding cavalry are going to come back in and attempt to take out some more villages. There's a couple of very, very low HP villages on this spot. But you are almost suiciding the raiding cavalry in here. And Jack does realize that that's the case. Going to be pulling out of there for the time being. A couple more longhouses up onto this spot. But the problem here for Jack is without having Freya, you miss out on Thundering Hooves. It really hurts the raiding cavalry effectiveness. So it's almost here, it's almost like Jack at this moment kind of needs to just go to the heroic age. He kind of just needs to go to the heroic age and get Huskarl out, because that's going to be his best option, or Jarl's out. To get that's probably going to be his best option against the Toxotes. Which does give Aethereal even more time here to get sorted out. Raiding cavalry coming this way. Aethereal does notice it. He's waiting till the last moment. Wants to get a little bit of damage in, baiting Jack, but Jack doesn't lose a cavalry. Almost loses one. Hoplite on this side. Not exactly sure what he's doing here. Pulling back, tries to get back underneath the town center. As the wooden gate gets knocked down, and Aethereal will start looking to pull himself out of this position. He's killing off the longhouse. Does he know that this is here? He does see the Great Hall, so we'll wander over and take that one out as well. And then all of those back buildings will have been dealt with. But Jack, he is pulling ahead on economy. He's now got 57 villages. This is the Rigstula taking effect. He's cut the military differential down. And now he's going to be able to go to the heroic age very, very shortly. Whereas Aethereal, he doesn't have that coming. He doesn't have the food, he doesn't have the gold income at the moment to get to the next stage. But he does have a restoration and a bolt in his back pocket. This is the way Aethereal likes to play. Whether or not it's the best way to play, that's a good question to ask yourself. Meanwhile, the cavalry coming back around for Jack. Aethereal getting himself his armory up over here. The villagers just about to finish up on this gold mine, but he does get hit, and that's going to be a couple of villagers going down. Does he get anyone? He gets this one as well, I think. The other two do manage to get away. Lots of little bits of damage there, widening the gap in this heroic age as Aethereal still playing a defensive game. He's moving forward with the Toxotes, however, as he realizes, well, if raiding cavalry in my base, I might be able to get something to happen here. Gets a little bit of a raid over onto this side, but the raiding cavalry now chasing down the hoplites. He's got to be a little bit careful here as the raiding cavalry sniping villagers. Nice little play there as the low HP villager makes a break for the town center, drops off that wood. A couple more buildings coming up for Aethereal. As Jack getting harassed by these units here. It's a very, very close army or fight to come, but you have to remember there is still that restoration in the back pocket for Aethereal. However, there will be a Mountain Giant and Walking Woods coming in as that does get dropped. Restoration there for Aethereal comes down as he's trying to shoot and scoot away from this. The hoplites will fall very quickly to those throwing axemen as Aethereal says, I got to get out of here. Meanwhile, over onto this side, the raiding cavalry are harassing this gold mine, but they are getting taken down quickly. Nice control from Aethereal, except he runs the hoplites in onto this side. They're getting sniped down. The Toxotes are split off from the hoplites here. And Jack looks like he will be breaking through on this position. Aethereal turns. He's got one last ditch fight here to try and hold on. He's getting back onto the gold mine. Jack says, I need to run. He doesn't feel comfortable here. As the Jason goes down. Raiding cavalry swinging around onto this side. Longhouse, Great Halls coming up all over the place as Jack has extended his lead a little bit. However, there is another restoration coming through. 40 seconds. This is just the way that Aethereal plays this game with Zeus. He grabs a nice army, gets himself that favor in, uses the restoration, finds advantages that way. Meanwhile, Heavy is coming through here for Jack. Can Aethereal hold on? He's got to wait another 18 seconds. He really should not be looking for fights here. The Walking Woods, they do a lot of damage. Good control here from Aethereal up to the top. Jack trying to navigate around the back of those hoplites. Not able to do so as the Toxotes now taking out those throwing axemen. Restoration is now available for Aethereal. As he's going to push forward, and I almost guarantee you, there it goes. The extra restoration now. Number 3 on that restoration count is through. There's 11 villagers on favor here. 11 villagers on favor here for Aethereal in this game. As the Jarls pulling back. We've got the Longhouse coming up onto this side. And Aethereal trying to break through. He does also have that Heroic Age still in his back pocket. Not going for it just yet. Just getting himself some upgrades. Jack now making his way around onto this side. The villagers open for raiding season. Raiding season is open. Jack's going to find the villagers on this side. Like, literally just dropping a tower down at this point on everything gives you a garrison point. You don't even have to get watchtowers in. Just a garrison point that is for those villagers as they're all going down. The hoplites pulling back through. More longhouses coming in. And I think in 1 extra minute, one more minute passing by, and Aethereal will have another restoration that he can use. And he is now going up through Dionysus, so he's going to have the bronze, and he's going to have a restoration to use, but another Walking Woods coming through here for Jack, as the Jason Heracles onto the other side, but it looks like Aethereal says, let's take this fight. I don't like this one because he's going Heroic Age. He's going Heroic Age. He's got favor coming through for another restoration, and he throws away the entirety of his army here as the raiding cavalry managed to get on top of the Toxotes. And Aethereal in that moment does tap out. Jack with the craziest of strats here goes for the back build with Odin. Aethereal goes for his town center. He gets it up, no problems. But the problem that he did have was that his gold mine was on the back of his base. That got hit. He had to come up to the top here. He lost villagers all over the place. He couldn't get the villagers actually popping out of his town center consistently either. And he couldn't get out any early hoplites because he didn't have that food economy. But nonetheless, he gets through that early game, and Jack makes such a great call here. Such a great call. He says, I've done enough damage to the villagers here. Let me get my town center. We're going to be in a good spot. We can keep fighting, keep this game going. And while Aethereal, I think he was almost stabilized here in a good spot. He went off for a bit of a push, let his guard down on this gold mine. But even so, he got to Dionysus. He is behind on villagers here. If he didn't lose all those villagers, I think he would be really in a good spot. Because he has the restoration coming. He's got the Dionysus. He's got that bronze coming. And that would be a big push for him to actually make some ground, potentially grab this talent center and fight for the late game where he will be able to take this win. But credit where credit's due. Jack did push him in the right places and found the dub. Let's jump into the draft and see what's next. Alrighty, another win there for. Oh, I'm on the wrong scene. That's embarrassing. We're on the wrong scene. Now that's less embarrassing because we're on the right scene. Okay, so Jack here goes up to 2. We're gonna flip a Rooney this. Okay, so we're going into game number 4 right now, with both Marsh and Anatolia remaining here. Marsh and Anatolia remaining. Okay, so what do we got? We are going to be going on Anatolia, and it's going to be a Gaia versus Set game on Anatolia. What does this mean? Set on Anatolia, I don't like at all. Why would you first pick Anatolia and pick Set there? That doesn't make any sense. Like, you've got Isis as an idea. You can use Isis on Anatolia and use Set on Marsh. You've also got... Wait. You've also got Ra. Ra doesn't make any sense either. Yeah, so why did he pick Ra? And we didn't think this through very much as to what he should grab last. Definitely Jack. He didn't think this through. There's so many good gods for Anatolia here. You've got Susanoo. You've got brain's not thinking about gods. You've got Kronos, right? Susanoo, Kronos. What else is good for this map? And let me just see. Susanoo, Kronos. Thor is good on this map. You got the Chinese gods, which are good on this map, in Nuwa, Shenong, etc. There's so many. And then you pick Set here. All right. Well, if that's the case, we're going to be jumping into game number 4. And surely he's cooking something up. This is his ace pick map. So he's going to have some sort of an idea here. Let's jump into game number 4 and see what it's going to be. And if Aethereal can hold on or not. Alrighty, so Jack is in the top side of the map right now as the set. And Aethereal, very, very clever. I like this pick here from Aethereal. He's going with Gaia. So Gaia on Anatolia is one of those sort of hidden OP gods. She's always been quite good on this map, but gets a little bit like outshone, or has been outshone early days by gods like Zeus, right? Zeus or Freyr. Right, these gods are incredibly strong here, but as you go through the list of gods to play on certain maps that are really, really strong, Gaia is right up there. Like, I even think that Gaia can take wins off those big power picks. I don't even think that Zeus is that good on this map anymore. Hades is that good on this map anymore. Or maybe they weren't even good on this map in the first place. It's just that that was the best place to play the Greeks, of which maybe you don't even need to worry about anymore because the Japanese have been added in. So your draft is going to be much larger. But nonetheless, we'll be checking this one out and see what's going to happen here. Aethereal moves over onto the right-hand corner, getting his dock up. Jack built a monument. This guy's got 2,000 rating. He's like a top 10 player. He built a monument. A monument! Did you guys know what that means? It means he can't build the dock. He can't build the dock. He had to put villages over onto... And then he places his mining camp like this. I've lost my mind. I already lost my hair, and now my mind has fallen out. He's now got his dock up. It's beyond late. Luckily for him, Aethereal is going full send on the bottom side of the map. He's got the double docks coming through, so he can grab all of these fishing spots. Jack can recover here. He's going to be shanking down this oracle. He can put another dock up over onto here and get his full fish flood or fish spam happening. But he's also like... He's got 2 villages on wood. He's not even spamming fishing ships. I'm so confused. He ace-picked Anatolia, didn't he? Did he not ace? Okay. He's got. I'm gonna play into it. I think he's got something planned here. He needs the extra favor early on. What can he go for? Let's think about it. Well, maybe he needs to get out. I can't think of anything. A Nubite? Wadjet? Scarab? A fast thrower into multiple scarabs. He's got this perfectly timed such that that monument needed to come down straight away. He's going to fast throw a scarab, shifting sands into his opponent's base and kill it while the opponent is trying to deal with all of the attack. That's got to be it. The world is not... No, the world is literally flat. Like, look at it. You can literally see it. Like the water does, not even the water falls off the edge of the map. Like, look. Okay, so Oceanus, pre-queued here for Aethereal. He just wants to advance. He's got his temple up. He's ready to go. He's pumping the fishing ships all over the place. He's been very, very generous here by not taking these spots as well. Like, generally speaking, what you want to do on Anatolia is you send an oracle forward with your citizen that's on this side, and you send it forward to scout the edge. And if you don't see any docks here, the second dock should actually come up on this spot, and you just grab these 9 fishing places as fast as you can, and then you work backwards to grab the last one. That way your opponent can't just come over in there and take them. Meanwhile, we are seeing Aethereal on the top side here as well, grabbing more fishing spots up here, so he's going to be happy about that. More docks to come down as well. It will be Thar coming through here for Jack. As the hand axe, pickaxe coming in, and vision gets dropped down by Jack. So now he doesn't even have that vision to get the nice shifting sands on his scarabs. He's going to have to get the scouting in the old-fashioned way. Does he still have villagers on food? No. No, he doesn't. Okay. A barracks coming down. Triple barracks coming down for Jack. He wants the classical fight here. He's going to be going heavy onto units. Now, I think if you're going to go for this, you might even want to just shifting sands the villagers forward. Move them forward, drop the barracks here, drop a monument down, grab the gold, grab the food in the center, and be like ready to start flooding units in a little bit quicker into your opponent's base. Like old school sort of forward base from the Egyptian type ideas. One cabinet is out over here. He does bring the Wadget over, which is a nice little assistance on the defense. There's another dock coming up onto this top side here for Jack. Meanwhile, Ramming Galley coming through, making himself axeman and stuff like that to deal with any sort of Mamilo spam that might be coming his way. Oh, did he also? Oh, he totally did. So for those of you who don't know, Set does get a bonus where with his monument range here, where if you put any buildings inside of this, any part of the building inside of this monument range, those units will become cheaper, and all those barracks are not in there. I feel like Jack has never played a game of Set in his life. Can ships be poisoned? Great question. I think they can be poisoned. Technically, unless this is considered a siege, it's considered a siege ship. I think they can be poisoned. Why wouldn't you not? Like, it makes perfect sense that you could poison a ship. Why wouldn't you be able to poison a ship? There's like dudes on top of the ship playing with the ship, right? You're poisoning those dudes, right? Carnivora gets dropped down. Jack trying to break through here. He's going to take out the fire ships and all the other good stuff. The units are in to start shanking down the dock. Does he have enough stuff here to break through all of this? The fire ship's going down. The Carnivora here, a bit of an issue. And this Wadget is indeed getting that poison damage in, as it does end up dying there, but the boats will be falling as well. Jack does manage to get a little bit of damage done. A couple of Hero Mamillas are now in position. A random Dwarven Horseshoes sitting over here as well, right next to Aethereal, but will he pick up the relic? The question, will he pick it up? It's a water map. There is a history of water maps and not picking up relics. Will it continue? It does continue. It continues. Never will I ever pick up a relic on a water map. It's just terrible. You just never want to do it. Obviously, that's... Nonetheless, the defense from Aethereal is coming through. He has defended his dock. He's getting his fishing ships out. Good pressure up to the top side of the map here. I have to say, this is the first game I've seen Aethereal play somewhat meta on. And he looks incredibly good here. Like, let's just put this into perspective. If Jack had opened correctly, Aethereal would be in a good position here regardless. He's playing this incredibly, incredibly well. Which makes me ask the question, What would happen if Aethereal would just abandon his like crazy go to town center no matter what idea and start analyzing different situations that he should go to town center on and situations he shouldn't go to town center on? I feel like Aethereal will be an incredibly good player. He already is an incredibly good player. I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean like a legit top contending player. Like a legit top contending player. Like top 8. Nonetheless, the dock coming down on the front here for Jack. Sniping down the war barge over onto this side as well. As he's moving up to the top here. Takes down a villager. Trying to clean up the axeman as well. As the Mamilo come through, managed to take out the Wadget. Spearman making a wander through over here as well. As the Murmillo coming in to take out the dock. Got to be careful on these ones though, because if you're close to the shore and there's ramming galleys there, they will kill off your units so very, very quickly. Meanwhile, Jack going to be searching in, looking for any little bits of damage here. Well, a very low HP villager here that Jack would love to kill. But with watchtowers up, too scary to go in that way. And it looks to me like Aethereal will be able to start thinking about town center, heroic age, whatever he really feels like. He's going to take out the ramming galley on this side. Dock falls. And now Aethereal has got full access to all of this. He's still putting pressure onto the top side of the map as well. As the siege bream's breaking through, there will be a couple of ramming galleys to come in. Jack desperately trying to hold on to both of these sides of the water, but he doesn't have the docks up. He's got the resources. He could pump out 10 ships in quick succession here. And he could break through all of this stuff, take this water back himself, and probably be okay here. Heroic Age is now pretty cute, but there is no armory up. The market going to be coming through. Market or armory, you only need one or the other. Doesn't really matter. Personally, I prefer the armory like nearly every single time. The only time I think the market is better is if I, for some reason, don't want armory upgrades and I think I'm going to get gold starved. But nonetheless, the siege breams take down one dock over here as the mass of ramming galleys coming in. Lots and lots of Caladria in onto this top side. They could help out, heal up those ships there, but they're going to get taken out. Meanwhile, into the main base, the spearmen coming through. A couple of Murmillos are here to defend. But the Murmillos are too slow, and the spearmen will get out of there, no problems. The cabinet's getting little slaps of damage in. And the dock here for Jack. About to go down, and Jack there does say, yeah, this game is done. He was being... there was no plan here from Jack. I don't know what was going through his mind. I don't understand. Normally, the whole idea of this tournament with the A's pick is that you can come in to every single game, and if you want to plan something specific, you can plan something specific to throw at your opponent. That's the whole idea. So you ace pick a god, you ace pick a map. So if you really want to do something specific, like pick Anatolia, you can, and it's fine. You ace pick that god for Anatolia, and then you ace pick Anatolia obviously as well. You can play it. But for whatever reason here, Jack felt like Jack was completely lost here on what to do. So Set's game plan on this map, if you don't open that way, you've got to have a great reason to do so. So the game plan is 6 docks, 515 advance, 18 fishing ships, Anubis to defend, and then get at least heroic age, or maybe go for a big fat classical age all in with all that fishing ship stuff, and you put mad pressure onto your opponent and abandon the water, or drop snakes onto one of the sides of the water while the other side slowly dies to whatever boats that your opponent can actually afford to send that way. And if they do decide to do that, they're going to lose a bunch of stuff in their main base anyways, right? That's like one option, right? But in this situation here, Jack didn't have the fishing ships in, didn't go Anubis, didn't defend on the water. We like min defend on the water. In fact, he was max defending on the water and still lost. And Aethereal very, very comfortably and plays it impeccably, in my opinion. Plays it really, really well. Gets the dub with Guy here. Nonetheless, we'll get back into the draft. It's 2-2. There's one game remaining, and we'll see how it's going to go. So final map, Marsh. Gods remaining, Ra, Isis, Thor, Loki. The names are in the incorrect spot there, so I will fix them up. If I was playing this as Jack, I'm probably picking Isis on this map 9 times out of 10. If I'm Aethereal, I'm probably picking Thor 9 times out of 10. And that is exactly what we're going to be doing. Here for AOM, unfortunately, my restream setup is just not working today. I don't know why. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to do about it. We're just gonna have to hope that it fixes itself up. They said they're going to fix it ASAP, but I don't have ASAP. I don't have time to wait for ASAP. So let's get into game number 5, Jack versus Aethereal. In the left-hand corner of the map, Jack playing Isis. In the right-hand corner of the map, Aethereal playing his Thor. The relics on the map. Harmonia's Necklace. Plus 10% of base there for those villagers. Chariot of Sibel. A couple of free lions to come through. Anvil of Hephaestus. Armory. Gold research cost minus 50% there. Okuninushi's Covenant. Making the temple half price. Ship fingernails. Plus 5 food per second. Pandora's Box. Minus 15% of the favor cost there for the myth units. I feel like I have to respond to this question. It's a very important question. Harry4562 asks, do I play old school RuneScape? Answer is, I did when I was a kid, but I don't anymore. All right. So, Isis versus Thor on this map. Look, if I play against Aethereal here, I'm probably just going to rush town centers. Like, you could go for a crazy all-in here, like classical fight, try and make like Anubis or Bast work, making like Anubites or Sphinx plus Spearmen, Axemen, Slingers. You can try and make that work. But why do that when you know that the Thor player is going to go for a Dwarven Armory? You know that he's probably going to be looking to grab a town center himself. And you've got yourself a ridiculously beautiful town center in the middle that you can drag boars under. And you have an amazing gold mine over here. So grabbing those, like going for like a fast 3 town center play on this specific map sounds absolutely amazing. Nonetheless, it's kind of off meta, just on the fact that it's absolutely wild. Nobody would do it but me. But I think in this specific map, given what I've seen, it would be a really nice way to open. He's moving around the side, dropping obelisks here, just trying to see everything around the side of the map, but that does not mean... he's going to be able to spot exactly what's going on here. Did he spot the gold mine at the very least? He missed his gold mine in the back here, so he doesn't know how good this town center is. If you take a look up for Jack's second town center, amazing. Back gold mine. He's got hunt back here as well. Double hunt inside of his main base is really, really nice. So we'll wait and see how things are going to go as Hands of the Pharaoh coming through. Anubis is going to be the god of choice. And Jack is throwing only a handful of villagers over onto gold here. Did he get himself his upgrade? No. He's missing his upgrade. I could be wrong, but I don't think Jack's played a whole lot of Egyptian. Am I wrong on that? Can somebody like open up Jack's AOM stats profile and look at how much Egyptian he's played? Flood and Nile coming through here, and he has dropped himself the prosperity down with only 7 villagers on gold. I'm getting more and more frustrated here. I'm getting frustrated. So for those of you trying to learn Isis, this god power is the best economic god power in the game. It is better than prosperity. Sorry, it's better than rain. It's better than like great hunt. It's better than what other economic god powers are there? Can't remember. Oh, in the archaic age, right? It's the best archaic age economic god power. Why? Because you can put upwards of 50 villagers on gold and drop prosperity. Now I don't mind seeing a 10 villager prosperity at the start of the game, 12 villager prosperity at the start of the game. I don't, but 7 villagers, that's just not it. It's not it. No. Dwarven Mine, yeah, better than Dwarven Mine, better than Peach Blossom Spring, better than Gaia Forest, better than Lure. It's better than all of them. I don't have to list them because I know that this is the best god power because it gives a crazy amount of gold. You get an extra 80% gold gather rate on your villagers, which is nearly double, right? Think about Peach Blossom Spring. It gives double as well, right? But you don't have the Pharaoh to empower it, and they have a limited supply of the gold that comes from it, whereas there's no real limited supply from prosperity, because you can grab yourself like 6,000 gold or plus during that prosperity, right? Nonetheless, the Anubite comes in, trying to get some damage done. The barracks is up, some spearmen coming up, a marker coming through as well. Just the one barracks. Relics are coming through for Jack as he is just going to be looking for early game pressure onto Aethereal. Now we will see a longhouse for Aethereal. At what point does prosperity recast not worth it? What do you mean? I think the recast is like, if you've got the gold mines, it's nearly always worth it. Unless you have like a specific amount of, like a specific myth unit thing or opportunity to use a myth unit that you want to use, then you obviously want to spend them on myth units. But yeah, if you don't have that opportunity to use the myth units, then prosperity is a great spend. I see a Nubite charges in. Almost sniping a villager. We just a couple of spearmen over onto this side. Jack is trying to make Aethereal's life very, very tricky here. As more spearmen are starting to accrue onto this position in his main base, as the spearmen are going to just pull back. Don't have to stay here. We'll see if this is a Nubite here. Now Guardian and Nubite. We'll see if he can jump in and actually find a kill. There is still Healing Spring, so he can use this to heal up all of his villagers if he so chooses. Maherso coming back in to help out. Another Nubite up onto this side. Gets one Vil pick and then pulls back out. The Spearman coming in from the front. Trying to get an attack onto every single little different bit of this map that he possibly can. And Jack, or Aethereal here, just the 2 longhouses. He is getting medium infantry, has a handful of thrown axemen. Playing very, very slow at the moment. Lots and lots of gold in the bank. Starting to make some gatherers to jump onto these pigs, so at least he has a little bit more gold to play with. But I imagine Jack's plan here is to put mad pressure up onto this gold mine here. That's the spearman Getting smacked down. One spearman goes down. Two spearmen goes down. Nice defense from Aethereal. I want to see a wall get thrown up here. There's plenty of room for that. Spearman actually turning around, taking the fight. He's going to lose even more. You cannot be affording to throw away these units. He loses every single one. He's going for so many raids in the main base, but he's getting defended on all counts here as the Anubite actually is slower than the Herso here as well. Throwing Axeman, shooting, scooting away. And this early game aggression from Jack has not paid for itself at all. He has completely thrown any sort of hope of getting some serious damage done. He's going Heroic Age. He's going for Sobek. He's got 2 monuments. He will be able to drop a Migdal onto the front here. But Aethereal is completely fine now. There's no problems for him moving forward in this game. He can grab a Talent Center. He can go Heroic Age himself. He's got access to this gold mine. No problems. The walls are coming up all over the place now. I think this might be the first time I've seen Aethereal actually dropping walls in a while. I think one of the things that maybe... I'm not 100% sure about this, but I think one of the things he thinks is with gods like Greek or Egyptian or Atlantean, the cost of the wall... Not necessarily the upfront cost of the wall, but the build time cost of the wall, like 15 seconds on a wooden wall like this, means that you're spending, when you build like one long wall, 21 gold, you're spending 42 gold on it, and that's, or even more. So it's not worth it to him. I think it's worth it to build walls personally, but I think that might be his thought process. As another Monument to the Priests coming up now. And now the Petsikos are going to start coming in. 3 monuments in for Jack. Into the Heroic Age. And ready to get his myth unit spammage off. But unfortunately, he's just lost so many units already. And you're also playing up against already 12 Hersa from Aethereal as the Anubite tries to dive in to take out a villager there. But the Hersa are in hot pursuit here. Anubites over onto this side. They can dive over the wall, but it's dangerous because there could be anything sitting there waiting, watching. There's not, but there could be. As he does decide to dive in, he can be able to hit the villagers on the backside. He needs to get some villager kills. He's so far behind at the moment. There is still also the Locust that can get dropped down at any point here. So Hersa come through. The Anubites will pull back to the right-hand corner of the map. What units right now is Jack making? He's making Chariot Archer, Petsikos, a couple more Petsikos coming in. He needs Axeman. Why Axeman here? Well, the reason is he's got to sit on top of the Petsikos with those Axemen to prevent those Hersa from diving onto them and taking them out. Chariot Archer, not a terrible idea considering it's a full infantry army right now for Aethereal, but he's dropping a couple more great halls down. As a Chariot's going to attempt to snipe a villager. Does he get it? No, not able to. The Rock coming through with the Petsikos here, looking for something to snipe. Super dangerous. You want to be really sneaky with the Rock if you can. Like at the moment, you take a look at the line of sight from Aethereal. He doesn't see this. He doesn't see this. Coming this way is totally fine. Could have got in. Could have got some pressure in, but he gets pushed back. The Anubites diving into the main base yet again, but the Hersa are there to cause some problems. We are seeing ballistics coming through now for Jack as he is slowly pushing forward, slowly looking for some sort of advantage. Hillfort on the back. Aethereal says, I don't care about the front of my base. The gold mine is everything. Let me secure that. Gets his Hillfort up. We'll have access to some Huskal, which can be really nice. Dives in, snipes the villager, jumps off to the side of that low HP Anubite. These other two trying to pull out of here. Snipes another villager as it pops out of the town center. Gets out of the main base there. He does have some priests ready to heal up those Anubites. Can he keep it alive? No, he loses that one. So he gets 2 villager kills there for 1 Anubite. Not bad. And Aethereal now, he's got himself Dwarven Mine. He can simply just drop the town center if he wants. He's playing a nice defensive one town center game here. And Jack slowly starting to move in. He's got so much favor in the bank. What is his plan for this? Another prosperity at this point so he can get a whole bunch of hill fort Migdol strongholds on the front. I actually like that idea. Drop a prosperity. He's getting his house up. Drop a prosperity here. Get enough gold in to drop 2 Migdols on this front here. A monument as well, and you're good to start sieging the town center of Aethereal. Jack continuing to just throw units into the meat grinder though. Let's have a little quick cheeky look at the armory upgrades. And there is that prosperity we were talking about. 18 villages on gold? What? 18? At the very least, just take the villages off of wood, put them over onto gold here. Just, I guess it's half of his army there, but this looks like it might just be a little bit too late. Aethereal says, I got an army here. It's scary. Come at me. The Petsukos out of position here. Frost comes down. Hits a handful of units there. The Petsukos getting sniped. They're so out of position. Jack completely throws this army away. However, can Aethereal actually break through the Chariot Archers? That's the big question. The Frost Giant on the middle here goes down. The Healing Spring is up. Aethereal says, I can't break through. Does not have enough stuff. Chariot Archers are going to be able to pick off these units. Throw and Axemen do not do well against Chariot Archers. And Jack is going to say, thank you very much for the Healing Spring. That's very nice of you. And behind all of this, even after the prosperity has finished, looks like Jack has not managed to actually get himself the gold he needs to get those forward Migdols up. That's where this composition is the most scary. Chariot Archer, Petsukos, Migdol Stronghold.
Gary. Into
The Kraken is going to go down, so at least he kills off the Ness. And Aethereal here grabs himself a town center. So all of a sudden you're not really on a ticking time bomb here. You can just drop your own town center if you like. The Chariot Archers are going to be poking up, picking off a couple of units here for free before the hill fort is finished up. And then he will have to retreat, but yet again, now Jack is in this position where he has to retreat, and his Petsukos is going to get caught out yet again. He retreats back to this Healing Spring now. Can Jack hold on? Snipes off another unit. Aethereal going to come in, take out some obelisks on the back here. It's a very tense moment here for Aethereal. The thing is, he doesn't really need to care about this gold mine. Just drop Dwarven gold mine. You don't have to be here. You don't have to be risking it just yet. But so far, so good for Aethereal. He's gotten through most of the landmines. He's limited the numbers of Petsukos down. There's only 2 here. There's been a total of 3 here now, and there's been a total of 6 that have been made, maybe even 7 being made in this game. He's been able to limit those. He hasn't. There isn't that. Now the final is that Migdol Stronghold coming up onto the front here. But realistically, Jack needs to break in and even just drop the Migdol on this front after this one goes up. So he needs another like forward pushing idea here. There is also Plague of Serpents remaining. Hasn't dropped that one just yet. It's the army taking the fight. Plague of Serpents gets dropped down. It's not the best god power to just drop in the middle of a fight, just on the fact that the snakes come in so slowly that by the time they come through, they're going to get killed off. You want to throw it down a little bit earlier than a fight actually ends up happening. There's another Petsikos does end up falling there. Migdol Stronghold finally up for Jack on the front, but Aethereal is playing so nicely here in this game. 2 town centers, farms coming up, slowly pushing forward, putting buildings all over the place. Ready to grab this next town center. Jack does have himself his own second town center as well, so it's not like there is a ridiculous, significant advantage for Aethereal here. Another prosperity coming down. The big advantage actually is the fact that Aethereal can drop another frost here. He can drop this frost anywhere up until this position where the monument is going to be blocking that god power. So he's got the option to just drop the town center. No problems. And he's going to do exactly that. It is spotted by Jack here. Jack's going to try and get in and deny this. Will we see the frost? Looks like he doesn't need to. A couple of units to just get the town center up. The siege tower goes down before it can get on top of the settlement to deny. But these Petsikos, chariot archers, making it very hard for Aethereal to break through here. Another idea would be to frost, charge in, wall off, and then where can the units go? We do see the Dwarven Gold Mine getting dropped down. A little bit early there from Aethereal, but just in case he doesn't want his units to go idle. Trying to grab the town center yet again. 230 favor there. He does drop the frost in. Can he get in and get the walls off? This looks like a full population ISIS army at the moment for Jack. As the army does get fully surrounded onto this spot. Not putting walls down, but it's going to be tough to actually get away from this position. Jack's shaft mine just about to complete. Missing upgrades as Egyptian is not... You're not really allowed to do that. You have so many resources to play with early on. You've got to get those upgrades in. Meanwhile, on the other side, you can see Aethereal. He's also missing his shaft mine, but he's got the other upgrades for wood, which is the most important thing that he needs right now. As the army of camel riders comes through, chariot archers trying to pull away from those Huskal, but the Huskal are just going to be tearing through the chariot archers. The Ptsubek all picked off at the moment. They're throwing axemen there to take down any sort of axemen as well. Can Aethereal break through this position or not is the big question. The chariot archers look like they're standing strong here. More axemen coming through to try and help out on this position as the Huskal front line has faded and Jack manages to hold on there. Aethereal pulling back up to the top side. The town center over here for Jack is up as well. So he's up to 3 town centers in front on villagers. He's still got to be careful. See on top of his healing spring over here. Needs more axemen. Needs good control. Needs upgrades. Petsikos coming through. More chariot archers on the way. Huskal yet again coming around onto the backside here as an attempt to throw a monument to the pharaohs up on the front. You don't need to do this. Just delete the monument to the villages and put the monument to the pharaohs in your main base where it's safe. All the villages falling on the front line. The monument to the pharaohs goes down. That's so many resources. Is that 800 resources? 800 resources down the drain there for Jack. He could have gone Mythic Age. What is he thinking? Absolutely crazy. Petsabek on the back here starting to accrue yet again. Aethereal not able to quite get out of his base. He drops another Dwarven Mine. Going to be having plenty of gold on the back there. It's iron shields, iron weapons coming through. Meanwhile, bronze weapons, bronze armor coming in from Jack. The army from Aethereal yet again trying to charge in here. The Betsubek at the very least right now in a half decent position, but where are the Axemen? Where are the Axemen? He's trying to snipe down the Hersir, diving in onto the Betsubek. They're a nice unit to try and deal with the Huskarl because they are doing some divine damage, but they're also doing pierce damage as well. So half of the actual damage output is nullified from those Huskarl, and Jack's army melts here with the lack of Axemen to deal with those Huskarl. Jack here does manage to finally break through the Huskarl numbers, and he's going to start getting some more Chariot Archers out to push back against the Throwing Axemen. They keep on shooting, scooting back. You see Thoth is pre-queued. He's not close to that one there. As the accent upgrades, there's 0 accent upgrades as well, which means that Aethereal is going to be able to get to the Mythic Age, will have his tier. He's going up to Dragon Scale Shields, unique to Thor, gets an extra line of armor upgrades to help him out in the late game. Meanwhile, Dark Water comes through from Jack. Medium Axeman coming in as well. Petsukos trying to get some more snipes in from afar here. Jack's still just trying to prevent like another frost from coming in onto this front. There's no frost going to be coming. 55 favor. He's dropped a couple of dwarven gold mines. The town center attempting to come back up onto this spot. Aethereal says, I don't want to lose too many units for this, but I still want it. Jack's done a great job of just denying this position, but he hasn't done a great job of countering this infantry army. 10 medium axemen now are inside of this one. It's going to be a little bit better for him in the next fight, but there's going to be a Fimbulwinter, which might spawn wolves on this position as well. You have to remember that, and the economy is absolutely stonking here for Aethereal as he hits the Mythic Age, drops the Fimbulwinter, doesn't get lucky on the wolf spawns. The Locust comes in to get some more damage done. Axeman on the top here going to be doing a half-decent job dealing with those units. The Axeman on the bottom going to be tanking up, allowing him to take out all the Huskarl there as well. As Aethereal cannot break through yet again. There's wolves everywhere though. Huge amounts of economic damage coming through. Jack drops 11 villages during that Fimbulwinter. Meanwhile, Dwarven weapons, bravery coming through. Aethereal is moments away from getting past here. He's dropped down. Does he have another Dwarven mine? No, he can't drop another Dwarven mine. He has to get into another gold mine. He's in the middle of the map here. Meanwhile, the Axemen popping forward here. Still a very low number of those. But the Camel Riders coming in onto the backside. On top of those throwing Axemen is huge for Jack. As the Goaty coming in, sniping down some of those Betsukos here. But good control from Jack to start sniping them back. But it's too little too late. The Betsukos do end up dying. Big Doll at the very least does manage to come up onto the front, but look at the food situation for Jack. He's out of food. I mean, he's got some chickens here. He's got some goats. He's dropping farms in his main base. And Jack's Migdol stronghold is going to be going down. The settlement going to be coming up here for Aethereal as well. Aethereal is now going to claim that third town center. He's at full population. He's got all of his upgrades coming into iron armor here as well. The only thing that he really needs now is some siege to break through this Egyptian fortress. All of a sudden, there's 55 villagers on food. Hello? In an instant, but the villagers are going to be dying over here. We see any siege. It's Berserk, Huskal, Godi coming through for Aethereal. He's going to be breaking past Jack's army. The chariot archers popping in and out, left, right, and center. And Jack, in that moment, realizes how far behind he is. He might have checked the armory upgrades. Nearly fully armoried up here from the Thor. And Aethereal, after 29 minutes of this game of defense and composure, manages to hold against Jack. I mean, this game, I can analyze it this way. Losing nearly 1,000 resources, trying to get raids off, not really doing all too much. Getting caught out many times, losing Petsikos and losing position. Not enough villagers on the gold for the prosperity. Not getting that forward Migdol up so we can actually push this position. Maybe a Migdol over here as well would have been another idea. There's so many different ways to go through here for Jack, and he just kind of botches it. And even so, he still keeps himself close, but keeps on losing these fights as Aethereal's control just that little bit too strong for him. Nonetheless, Aethereal gets the dub. 3 games to 2, and he does actually go on, I think, to play against 3DB. If you guys want to go and check that one out, I did cast that already on the YouTube. It's on my YouTube live stream thing for day 1. It's towards the end of the day. So you can go check that one out if you like. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, make sure you hit the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And I will see you guys in the next game.